So this crop of children will be the luckiest born in American history? That's a strong statement.
Yeah, I mean, it was quite forceful. We've seen this kind of language from Buffett in the past, but he really went above and beyond in this year's letter to discuss why he thinks America is so great. And it really boils down to the fact that we have a capitalist system that keeps marching towards more and more productivity. We have more GDP per capita, 6 times more today than what we had when he was born. And for Buffett, that's just the key factor. He said basically to shareholders, but he's speaking to a wider audience here, that we should put aside what politicians are telling us about the state of the economy right now, because over a much longer time period, America really has worked out for society.
Right, and Noah, he said all of this stuff before. I mean, I know he said before that people born today, are extremely lucky and they're going to be well positioned in the future. But it's significant because it is a political year, right? And we know Buffett has gone into politics before, so he avoided though endorsing anybody in the letter, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think there's a chance that people would have been quite mad if he did. The letter really wasn't the place to do that, but you're exactly right. He has been wading into politics. He's been very clear that he supports Hillary Clinton and expects her to win the campaign. But yeah, I mean, the subtext for the letter, and I spoke with several investors over the weekend, the subtext really was that he was making some political statements here.
What about, I mean, I get his point that this generation of babies will have more GDP per capita. I guess you could argue about if that makes them better off or not. But what about this year, the U.S. economy right now? Because so many people have been fearful we're headed towards a recession, and the economic indicators really don't point that out.
Yeah, he doesn't give short-term forecasts as much. The one that he did point out is that he thought the railroad at Berkshire Hathaway, BNSF, would have a tough year. Part of that's due to the fact that oil prices are low. BNSF had been a big beneficiary of the onshore oil boom in the U.S. They hauled materials to places like North Dakota and were hauling the oil out of North Dakota. So that is one short-term prediction that he gave. But he didn't really say much in terms of short-term GDP forecasts for the U.S.
What did he say? He always gives a mea culpa about his previous year's investment or previous strategies. Did he have one in this letter?
He didn't have a big blunder that he pointed out, but he did make clear that he probably would make a few more in the years to come. So that candor, if you want to call it that, was still pervasive through this letter.
And Noah, just really quickly on IBM. I mean, let's not let Buffett get away though with one of the worst performers in his portfolio, which is IBM, right? I mean, is this a year where at least it's proven that this was a smart investment for him? He really wasn't willing to throw in the towel there, and he's defended this pick in the past and said the jury's out. Well, is basically Munger said the jury is still out on this investment, but Buffett said he's not throwing in the towel. He likes the cash that the business is generating, and he thinks over the long haul the stock price is going to rise, so he's holding.
What about debt? Looks like he's lightening up a little bit on bonds. What's the significance of that?
Yeah, I mean, that's a long-term trend at Berkshire. Buffett hasn't liked the rates on bonds. He thinks that's not the place that he wants to put Berkshire's money, and we saw that trend continue last year. Interestingly, he has been borrowing some to do his acquisitions. He said he plans to issue about $10 billion in bonds to fund his purchase of Precision Castparts. That's the manufacturer he bought earlier this year in one of his biggest deals.